What's up, guys? I'm Nacho, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be tier ranking all the Money in the Bank competitors for Money in the Bank 2023 in London. We're going to be starting off with the women's Money in the Bank competitors, and then we're going to be taking a look at the men's Money in the Bank competitors. As you can see, I have my own custom tier rankings now, with the top being Give Me What I Want, all the way down to Oh Dear God No, and I'll give a brief explanation on each tier when I put somebody in that tier. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into it with former Miss Money in the Bank, Bailey. Now, I think Bailey is always a good pick for something like this because they're always high on her. They're always using her. Not to the significance of, say, Becky or Charlotte, but they still use her. And I think with the planting of the seeds of Io and Bailey splitting up and them doing a damage control feud, it's definitely possible. But I think there's just a better option. So I'll put Bailey in the could be better pile. Next up, we have Selena Vega. Now, tier maker kind of messes with me here on Selena and Zoe Stark. You can see right here, Zoe Stark is like chroma keyed to lose all like the black part of her gear. It looks very weird. And then Zelina had her head chopped off. With that out of the way, Zelina Vega, I'll put her in the that's cool tier, mainly because it is cool to see Zelina win, especially after the great performance she had in Backlash in Puerto Rico. It would be it definitely could be a possibility of her winning and cashing in on the same night, especially with how WWE keeps having the Money in the Bank for the women end after a day or less than. I mean, the only person that didn't do that was Carmelo, who was the first winner. But everyone talks about that, so I don't need to go over that. But I could definitely see Zelina winning the briefcase, say at the start of the night, and then when Charlotte and Bianca and Asuka go at it, a bunch of shenanigans, out comes Zelina to take the belt off Asuka or whoever. Definitely a possibility, but not what I want to see personally. Next up after Zelina, we have Zoe Stark, and I'm going to put Zoe Stark in the meh pile, mainly because I don't think Zoe's in there to get the win. I think Zoe's in there to help get somebody the win, and I think that person is Trish Stratus. Great segue. I'm putting Trish in the Give Me What I Want pile, mainly because it would be awesome to see Trish hold the Money in the Bank briefcase, especially if she's doing weekly visits to Raw. She's doing great work right now, helping Zoe Stark get comfortable, get a bit more of a character. I would like to see more of a faction built around her, get like another wrestler or two, and have like another female faction, because now that you're killing off damage control, you don't really have any female factions. And it would be cool to have those, especially with all the other male factions we have these days. LWO, Judgment Day, Bloodline, rest in peace. But next up, after Trish, we have Becky Lynch. And Becky, I'm going to put Becky in the That's Cool pile as well. Someone said it, or I saw it said, that this ladder match is Becky and all her ops. With the exception of Selena Vega, Becky has beef with every person in this ladder match. I don't think there's any way she walks away with the briefcase. It would be cool to see her hold the briefcase for a while and eventually build herself back up to be the one to beat Rhea. But I don't think anyone's taken that title off Rhea for a while, so I don't think it would make sense for her. And also, as I just mentioned, everybody in this match has it out for Becky in some way, shape, or form, except for Zelina. And even then, during the summit on Monday Night Raw, Zelina was like, yeah, I don't really like you that much anyway. So it'll be interesting to see if Becky somehow squeaks it out. But last on the women's Money in the Bank, I have Io Sky. And Io, I'm going to put at the very tippy top of Give Me What I Want, because Io should win it over Trish, and I'll explain why briefly. Io's great. Io and Bailey, their feud can be enhanced by this briefcase. You give Io the win in the feud, you have her actually winning matches, because normally when you win Money in the Bank, you lose, 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 lose. So it would be nice to see Io win, have the briefcase, go on a bit of a run with it, eventually cash in on Asuka, on Bianca, hell, even on Charlotte, and they could stumble their way into long-term storytelling, because Io also beat Charlotte for the NXT title, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me on that if I'm wrong. All right. With the women's Money in the Bank briefcase out of the way, it's time to go over the men's Money in the Bank. And I'm going to start off with Logan Paul. Enough said. I don't really need to speak on this anymore. It's cool that he's in the match. Whatever. I think he's only in the match to do something cool with Ricochet, who I'm going to put in the could be better pile. I don't see Ricochet winning it. I'll be honest before I go over the other 5 guys here. There are only 2 names that I see legitimately walking away with the briefcase. I think it's the same 2 names that everybody has been talking about. So I'll get to them when I get to them, but we all know who I'm talking about. After Ricochet, I have Santos. I'm going to put Santos in the meh pile. I was watching Steven Larson's Going in Raw review of Monday Night Raw, and Santos Escobar. I was watching an episode of Going in Raw. They were reviewing Monday Night Raw, and Steve mentioned how Santos has no chance at winning the briefcase, and I agree with him. He is, as Steve put it, ice cold. The LWO as a whole is not ice cold, but it's interesting to see that Santos, this guy that they're trying to position as like the right hand to Ray, and because Ray is the figurehead of LWO. He may not be the leader. He may not be the guy that brought in, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde and Zelina Vega originally as Legado, and then they switched to LWO. But Ray definitely is the face of it, so it's weird to see that Santos is just getting no reaction from the crowd, especially since he's such a good wrestler. I really hope that this match is a coming out party for him, though, and it will be cool to see if he gets any sort of cool spots with Ricochet or even Logan Paul. With that out of the way, let's talk about Butch, who, if you see in his little render, I don't have a Butch render. I have a Pete Dunne render, because I'm making a proclamation that we're going to see the return of Pete Dunne. We're going to get the Bruiserweight theme. We're going to get him gritting his teeth, even though he does that as Butch. We're going to get him in a proper singlet, no stupid hat. His hair's going to look like shit. His beard's going to look like shit. I just want Pete Dunne back. He's not going to win, but I want him back, and I think it will be cool as shit if we get proper Pete Dunne back in London. And if you don't agree with me, take a look at all the stuff they've been doing. They got Tommaso Ciampa back with CFO $ theme and back to a very similar NXT version of him from NXT Black and Gold. They have Baron Corbin actually just came back as the Lone Wolf last night, as I'm recording this on Wednesday. Last night on NXT, he came back as the Lone Wolf with the Lone Wolf theme and imagery. Like, he looked great. You can do that with Pete Dunne and still have him be a part of the Brawling Brutes. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Next up, I have Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, I'm also going to put in the That's Cool pile. I'm just going to throw him in there. Shinsuke would be very cool, especially with the kind of repackaged that he's got. as a tweener who just wants to go out there and put on the best match possible. I really love the three-way feud with him, Ricochet, and Bronson. Would have wished Bronson Reed got in on the Money in the Bank match. Who knows? Maybe he'll get in, but I doubt it because Money in the Bank is this weekend. So I doubt it. Next up, we have Damian Priest. And I'm going to put Damian Priest as the top of That's Cool, mainly because I think he's probably going to be the one that wins it, especially with all the rumors about a huge upset and everything. And everybody's favorite to win it is the one guy I have left. But Damian Priest is probably going to walk away with the briefcase or walk away with the World Heavyweight Championship after cashing in on the Finn-Seth match. With all of that out of the way, I have the last guy on the list. And if you watched my video on Roman Reigns, which I know a lot of people did, thank you guys for that, I have L.A. Knight. Yeah, L.A. Knight. I'm going to put him right here at the top of Give Me What I Want with Io Sky because L.A. Knight should win it. I know I said in my Roman video, I don't see how LA Knight beats Roman for the belt, and that's because I don't think he does. I think he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think he is going to jump ship. He's going to go to Monday Night Raw, and he's going to become World Heavyweight Champion. He's going to beat Seth for that belt. You know, have him go on a run with the briefcase. Have him get some wins. I know traditionally Money in the Bank winners, they lose constantly, like I mentioned previously with Io Sky, and that's fine. You can have him lose sometimes, but you're already having him lose so much on the build-up to Money in the Bank. Everyone is assuming that he's going to win it. You have to have him win it, right? You can't have Logan Paul win it. You can't. Please, Vince, don't. Vince, no! Vince, no!